Maya Patel had always been a dreamer. Growing up in the vibrant city of Jaipur, surrounded by its rich history and colorful culture, she developed a deep love for photography at an early age. Armed with her trusty camera, Maya spent most of her days wandering through bustling markets, capturing candid moments of street vendors selling fragrant spices or children laughing as they played near ancient forts. Her lens told stories of resilience, joy, tradition, and change. But despite her passion, life wasn't easy. At 26 years old, Maya still struggled to make ends meet, working odd jobs between freelance gigs just to keep her dreams alive. One sunny afternoon, as Maya edited photos on her laptop at a small cafe near Hawa Mahal, her phone buzzed loudly on the table. It was Priya, her best friend since childhood. The two were inseparable, sharing secrets, laughter, and countless cups of chai over the years. Curious about what Priya wanted now, Maya picked up the call with a smile. "Hey, Maya," Priya's cheerful voice came through the speaker. "How's my favorite photographer doing today?" "Just editing some pictures," Maya replied, leaning back in her chair. "What's up with you?" Priya paused for a moment before speaking again. "So, I have this favor to ask. Do you remember my cousin Rahul? He's visiting from America next week, but he won't be able to show his guest around because of a family wedding. And, well..." She trailed off nervously. Maya raised an eyebrow. "And?" "Well, his guest needs someone local to guide him around Jaipur for a few days." Priya continued quickly. "You know how much you love exploring all these places anyway. Plus, it'll give you a chance to practice your photography skills while earning a little extra money." Maya sighed. Helping strangers wasn't exactly her idea of fun, especially when she already had so much on her plate. Still, Priya rarely asked for favors, and Maya hated disappointing her closest friend. After a brief hesitation, she agreed reluctantly. "Fine," Maya said finally. "I'll do it, but only because it's you asking." Priya squealed with excitement. "Thank you so much. You won't regret this, I promise. Just meet him at that cafe near Hawa Mahal tomorrow morning. His name is Ethan Carter. He's really nice, I swear." The next day, Maya arrived at the Sheer Cafe 5 minutes early, clutching her camera bag tightly against her side. She scanned the crowd looking for someone who fit the description Priya had given her. Tall, blonde, probably wearing sunglasses and expensive clothes. Instead, she spotted a man sitting alone at a corner table, sipping coffee and scribbling something in a notebook. He looked nothing like what she'd imagined. Ethan Carter was indeed tall, but there was nothing flashy about him. Dressed casually, in jeans and sneakers with tousled brown hair instead of slicked-back blonde locks, he seemed more like a backpacker than a wealthy tourist. When he noticed Maya approaching, he stood up and offered her a warm smile. "You must be Maya," he said, extending his hand. "Priya told me so much about you. Thanks for agreeing to help out." "No problem," Maya replied, shaking his hand firmly. "So, what brings you to Jaipur?" Ethan shrugged. "Curiosity, mostly. I've heard amazing things about this place. The architecture, the food, the people. Figured it was time to see it for myself." His tone was casual, almost nonchalant, but there was a spark of genuine interest in his eyes that intrigued Maya. Most tourists came to India expecting grand palaces and elephant rides, leaving disappointed when reality didn't match their expectations. Yet Ethan seemed different, more open-minded, perhaps even humble. As they settled into their seats, Maya couldn't help but feel skeptical. Something about him didn't quite add up. Why would someone from America, presumably accustomed to luxury, choose to travel without any fanfare? And why did Priya sound so insistent that Maya take this job? Despite her doubts, Maya decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. After all, guiding Ethan around Jaipur might not be the worst way to spend a week. Besides, if nothing else, it would give her plenty of material for her photography portfolio. Over coffee, Ethan explained his plans. He wanted to visit iconic landmarks like Amber Fort and Jantar Mantar, explore local markets, and experience authentic Rajasthani cuisine. Nothing too extravagant, just simple immersion into the heart of the city. Maya nodded along, jotting down notes and mentally mapping out their itinerary. By the end of their meeting, Maya found herself relaxing slightly, Ethan was easy to talk to, asking thoughtful questions about her work and showing genuine curiosity about her perspective on Jaipur. For the first time since agreeing to this arrangement, Maya felt a flicker of excitement. Maybe this wouldn't be such a chore after all. But little did she know, beneath Ethan's unassuming exterior lay secrets that would soon turn her world upside down. As they parted ways that evening, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that this journey would be far more than just a routine tour. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. The next morning, Maya met Ethan outside the iconic Hawa Mahal, the Palace of Winds. Its intricate latticework and honeycomb-like facade glowed softly under the rising sun. Maya had visited this monument countless times before, but today felt different. She carried her camera slung over her shoulder, ready to capture not just the beauty of the structure but also Ethan's reactions as he experienced it for the first time. "This is incredible," Ethan said, tilting his head back to take in the towering pink sandstone walls. His eyes widened with childlike wonder, and Maya couldn't help but smile at his enthusiasm. Most tourists came armed with preconceived notions about India, expecting chaos or poverty, but Ethan seemed genuinely fascinated by every detail. "Wait till you see inside," Maya teased lightly. "But actually, we're not allowed to go in anymore. It's more of an exterior marvel these days." Ethan chuckled. "That's okay. Sometimes the mystery makes things even more beautiful, doesn't it?" They spent the next hour wandering around Hawa Mahal, with Maya explaining its history, how it was built in 1799 so royal ladies could observe street festivals without being seen, and how its design allowed cool breezes to flow through during the scorching summer months. Ethan listened intently, nodding occasionally and jotting down notes in his small leather-bound journal. "You seem really into architecture," Maya remarked as they strolled toward a nearby chai stall. "I've always been interested in how spaces shape experiences," Ethan replied thoughtfully. "Buildings aren't just structures, they tell stories, like this place." He gestured toward Hawa Mahal. "It speaks of elegance, practicality, and culture all at once." Maya nodded, impressed by his perspective. They ordered 2 cups of steaming masala chai, which arrived piping hot in tiny clay pots called kulhads. Ethan took a cautious sip, then grinned widely. "This is amazing," he exclaimed. "I've never tasted anything like it." "It's nothing fancy," Maya said with a shrug. "Just tea, milk, sugar, and spices. But yeah, it's kind of magical." As they sipped their chai, Maya noticed something unusual. When Ethan handed the vendor a bill, it was far larger than the actual cost of the drink. The vendor looked surprised but grateful, bowing slightly in thanks. Maya raised an eyebrow. "Do you always tip that generously?" she asked curiously. Ethan shrugged. "Why not? If I can make someone's day a little brighter, why wouldn't I?" His answer caught Maya off guard. It wasn't uncommon for wealthy foreigners to splurge while traveling, but there was something sincere about Ethan's gesture, like he truly cared about making a difference, however small. Later that afternoon, they headed to Jantar Mantar, the UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its astronomical instruments. As they walked among the massive stone sundials and celestial tools, Maya explained their purpose, how ancient astronomers used them to track the movements of stars and planets with astonishing accuracy. Ethan ran his fingers along the smooth surface of one of the instruments, clearly awestruck. "This is genius," he murmured. "Imagine creating something so precise centuries ago, without modern technology." "It's pretty mind-blowing," Maya agreed. "People don't realize how advanced Indian science was back then." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, shifting from astronomy to art to philosophy. Maya found herself opening up in ways she hadn't expected. She told Ethan about her struggles as a photographer, the constant rejection, the financial instability, the pressure from family to pursue a real career. To her surprise, Ethan didn't offer platitudes or dismissive advice. Instead, he listened attentively, nodding as if he understood exactly what she meant. "I get it," he said after a pause. "Chasing your passion isn't easy, but you have something rare, a unique perspective. That's worth fighting for." His words stayed with her long after they left Jantar Mantar. For years, Maya had doubted whether her work mattered, whether anyone would ever appreciate her vision. Yet here was Ethan, a complete stranger, validating her dreams in a way no one else had before. The following day, they ventured into the heart of Jaipur's old city, where narrow lanes buzzed with activity. Vendors shouted out prices, children darted between carts loaded with fruits and vegetables, and the air was thick with the aroma of freshly fried samosas and jalebis. Maya led Ethan to Johari Bazaar, famous for its glittering jewelry shops. "Okay, confession," Maya said as they navigated the crowded streets. "I hate haggling. It's exhausting." Ethan laughed. "Let's pretend we're pros. I'll handle it." True to his word, Ethan dove into negotiations with gusto. At one shop, he managed to bargain a set of silver bangles down to half the original price, but only after accidentally convincing the shopkeeper to throw in several matching scarves as well. By the end of the transaction, both Maya and Ethan were laughing uncontrollably. "You know," Ethan said as they stepped out of the shop, arms laden with bags, "I think I might have overdone it." "Might have?" Maya teased, holding up one of the scarves. "What are you going to do with 6 identical scarves?" Ethan grinned sheepishly. "Souvenirs?" These moments of levity made Maya feel lighter somehow. Life had been heavy lately, weighed down by bills and responsibilities. But spending time with Ethan reminded her of the joy she used to find in simple things, like exploring her hometown and sharing its wonders with others. On their third day together, Maya took Ethan to Amber Fort, perched atop a hill overlooking Mauda Lake. The fort's grandeur took her breath away every time she saw it, and judging by Ethan's expression, it had the same effect on him. They climbed aboard an elephant ride to reach the entrance, something Maya hadn't done since she was a child. Riding slowly uphill, surrounded by lush greenery and the rhythmic sway of the elephant's steps, Maya felt a sense of peace wash over her. Inside the fort, they marveled at the mirrored ceilings, frescoed walls, and expansive courtyards. Ethan pulled out his notebook again, sketching quick diagrams and jotting down observations. Maya watched him curiously. "What are you writing?" she asked. "Oh, just ideas," he replied vaguely. "Inspiration for future projects." She didn't press further, though his cryptic response piqued her curiosity. What kind of projects could possibly require notes on Rajasthani forts? By the time they returned to Jaipur that evening, Maya realized she was beginning to see Ethan in a new light. There was an authenticity to him that she admired, his willingness to immerse himself fully in the experience, his respect for local traditions, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. He wasn't just a tourist. He was someone who truly appreciated the depth and richness of her culture. And yet, there were still unanswered questions lurking beneath the surface. Who was Ethan Carter really? Why did he carry himself with such quiet confidence, as if he were used to commanding attention without demanding it? And why did he keep referring to future projects in such mysterious terms? For now, Maya decided to let those questions rest. Whatever secrets Ethan held, they didn't change the fact that he was quickly becoming one of the most interesting people she'd ever met. Little did she know, the answers would come soon enough, and they would alter the course of her life forever. As the days passed, Maya and Ethan's bond deepened in ways neither of them had anticipated. Their shared adventures through Jaipur weren't just about sightseeing anymore. They became a series of meaningful exchanges, moments of vulnerability, and quiet revelations that neither could ignore. By the 4th day, Maya found herself looking forward to their time together not just as a guide but as a friend. That morning, they decided to visit Nahargarh Fort, perched high on the Aravalli Hills overlooking the city. The drive up was steep and winding, but the view from the top made every twist and turn worth it. As they stepped out of the car, the sprawling panorama of Jaipur stretched before them. A sea of terracotta rooftops bathed in golden sunlight, dotted with patches of greenery and shimmering lakes. For a moment, both Maya and Ethan stood silently, taking it all in. "This is breathtaking," Ethan said finally, his voice soft with awe. "I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this." Maya smiled, feeling a flicker of pride. It's one of my favorite places. Whenever life gets overwhelming, I come here to clear my head. There's something about the height. It makes everything below feel smaller, less complicated. Ethan glanced at her, his expression thoughtful. You have such a unique way of seeing things. Most people wouldn't notice how calming a place like this can be. But you do. His words caught Maya off guard. She wasn't used to being complimented so sincerely, especially by someone like Ethan, who seemed to exude confidence and sophistication. Yet there was no trace of condescension in his tone, only admiration. They spent hours exploring the fort, wandering through its labyrinthine corridors and admiring the ancient frescoes that adorned its walls. At one point, they climbed to the highest terrace where a cool breeze rustled through the trees below. They sat side by side, sharing snacks Maya had packed earlier, crispy pakoras, tangy chutney, and bottles of cold water. You know, Ethan began after a while, I didn't expect this trip to turn out the way it has. What do you mean? Maya asked, curious. I thought I'd come here, see some landmarks, take a few photos, and leave. But meeting you, well, it's changed everything. He paused, searching for the right words. You've shown me parts of this city and yourself that I never would have discovered on my own. Maya felt her cheeks flush. That's what happens when you let locals show you around. We know the hidden gems. It's more than that, Ethan insisted. It's your passion. For photography, for storytelling, for preserving culture. You have this gift for finding beauty in the ordinary and making it extraordinary. It's inspiring. For a moment, Maya didn't know how to respond. No one had ever spoken to her like that before, with such sincerity and conviction. It made her wonder if perhaps she'd been underestimating herself all along. Later that evening, they returned to the old city to explore Chand Pol Bazaar, known for its vibrant textiles and traditional Rajasthani handicrafts. The narrow streets were alive with energy, filled with the sounds of haggling vendors and the rhythmic clanging of metalworkers shaping intricate jewelry. Maya led Ethan to a small shop tucked away in a corner, run by an elderly artisan named Rajuji. His hands moved deftly as he embroidered delicate patterns onto silk fabric, each stitch a testament to decades of skill and dedication. This is incredible, Ethan murmured, watching Rajuji work. How long does it take to create something like this? Days, sometimes weeks, Maya explained. Every piece is handmade, which makes it special. These artisans are keeping centuries-old traditions alive. Ethan nodded slowly, his gaze lingering on the colorful fabrics hanging from the walls. It's amazing and heartbreaking. How many people even realize the effort that goes into creating these works of art? Not enough, Maya admitted. A lot of these crafts are dying because younger generations don't want to learn them. It's hard work, and the pay isn't great. Ethan frowned, his brow furrowed in thought. There has to be a way to preserve this kind of craftsmanship while giving artisans the recognition they deserve. Maya shrugged. Maybe, but change takes time, resources, and someone willing to fight for it. Ethan didn't reply immediately, but Maya noticed him jotting something down in his notebook again. Whatever he was thinking, it clearly mattered to him. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of orange and pink, they made their way to a rooftop cafe overlooking the city. The air was warm, carrying the faint scent of incense wafting from nearby temples. They ordered dinner, spicy paneer curry, fluffy naan bread, and refreshing mango lassi, and talked late into the night. Their conversation veered toward personal topics, revealing layers of themselves they hadn't shared before. Maya spoke candidly about her dreams of becoming a professional photographer, the sacrifices she'd made to pursue her passion, and the fear of failure that haunted her. In turn, Ethan opened up about his own struggles, how growing up in privilege came with expectations he often felt ill-equipped to meet, and how he constantly sought meaning beyond material success. There's so much pressure to live up to certain standards, Ethan confessed. Sometimes it feels suffocating. That's why I travel, to remind myself what really matters. Maya nodded, understanding perfectly. I think we're all searching for something, aren't we? A sense of purpose, a connection to something bigger than ourselves. Ethan smiled, his eyes locking with hers. Exactly. And maybe we find pieces of that purpose in unexpected places. Like here, with you. The intensity of his gaze sent a shiver down Maya's spine. For the first time, she allowed herself to entertain the possibility that there might be more between them than friendship, but almost immediately doubt crept in. How could someone like Ethan, a worldly, successful man, ever truly understand her struggles? Once the week ended, he'd return to his glamorous life, leaving her behind in Jaipur. Still, as they sat, there under the starlit sky, Maya couldn't deny the spark of hope igniting within her. Perhaps their connection was fleeting, but perhaps it wasn't. Only time would tell. By the end of their 5th day together, Maya realized she was falling, not just for Ethan, but for the idea of what their shared experiences represented. He had shown her a side of herself she hadn't fully acknowledged, confident, capable, and deeply passionate about her roots. And she, in turn, had given him a glimpse into a world he'd only dreamed of, a world rich with history, culture, and humanity. But little did Maya know, Ethan was harboring a secret, one that would soon bring clarity to their budding relationship and challenge everything she thought she knew about him. As they prepared for their final outing the next day, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that the most extraordinary chapter of this journey was yet to unfold. The morning of their final day together dawned bright and clear, with the promise of another adventure. Maya woke up feeling a mix of excitement and sadness. She had grown accustomed to Ethan's presence over the past week, his easygoing nature, his thoughtful questions, and the way he seemed genuinely interested in everything she showed him. But today marked the end of their time together, and Maya wasn't sure how to feel about it. Ethan had planned a special outing for their last day, dinner at Rambagh Palace, one of Jaipur's most luxurious hotels. When Maya heard about it, she hesitated. The idea of stepping into such an opulent setting made her uncomfortable. Her wardrobe consisted mostly of simple kurtas and jeans, not designer dresses or high heels. Sensing her unease, Ethan reassured her with a warm smile. "Don't worry," he said. "You'll fit right in. Just be yourself, that's all I care about." Maya nodded, though doubts lingered in her mind. As they prepared to leave, she couldn't help but wonder why Ethan had chosen such an extravagant venue for their farewell. Was it a gesture of gratitude? Or was there something more behind it? They spent the afternoon visiting City Palace, a sprawling complex that blended Rajasthani and Mughal architectural styles. The intricate mirror work, ornate frescoes, and towering gates left Ethan spellbound. Maya watched him closely as he absorbed every detail, his notebook filling up with sketches and observations. It struck her how deeply he appreciated the craftsmanship and history of these monuments, not just as tourist attractions, but as living testaments to human creativity. At one point, they paused near a courtyard where artisans were demonstrating traditional block printing techniques. Ethan leaned in, fascinated by the precision required to stamp intricate patterns onto fabric. He struck up a conversation with one of the artisans, asking detailed questions about the process. Maya listened quietly, marveling at how effortlessly Ethan connected with people from all walks of life. "You have a real talent for this," the artisan said, smiling warmly. "Most visitors don't take the time to understand what we do." Ethan grinned. "Well, I'm lucky to have an amazing guide who shows me things I'd never notice on my own." His words caught Maya off guard yet again. She had always thought of herself as ordinary, just someone trying to make ends meet while chasing her dreams. But through Ethan's eyes, she began to see herself differently, as someone with unique insights, skills, and value. It was a revelation she wasn't quite ready to fully embrace, but one she couldn't ignore either. As evening approached, they made their way to Rambagh Palace. Nestled amidst lush gardens and sprawling lawns, the palace exuded old-world charm and grandeur. Uniformed staff greeted them at the entrance, ushering them inside with polite smiles. Maya felt out of place among the chandeliers, marble floors, and lavish decor, but Ethan seemed completely at ease. They were seated at a candlelit table overlooking the garden, surrounded by the gentle hum of conversation and soft instrumental. Music. For a while, they talked about lighter topics, their favorite dishes, childhood memories, and quirky travel stories. But as dessert arrived, a decadent chocolate mousse topped with gold leaf, Ethan grew quiet, his expression turning serious. "There's something I need to tell you," he began, his voice steady but tinged with nervousness. "Something I should have told you earlier." Maya's heart skipped a beat. She had suspected there was more to Ethan than he let on, but now, faced with the possibility of learning the truth, she felt a pang of apprehension. "I'm listening," she said cautiously. Ethan took a deep breath before continuing. "I haven't been entirely honest about who I am. Back home, I run a company, a real estate development firm. We specialize in building sustainable luxury resorts inspired by local cultures and traditions." Maya blinked, processing his words. Company?" "Yes," Ethan admitted. "And this trip, it wasn't just about sightseeing. I came here to scout locations for my next project, a resort in Rajasthan that blends modern amenities with traditional Rajasthani design. I wanted to immerse myself in the culture, learn from the locals, and find inspiration for the project." Maya stared at him, stunned. All along, she had assumed Ethan was simply a curious traveler, eager to explore India, but now she realized he was much more, a visionary entrepreneur with the resources and influence to bring big ideas to life. "I didn't mean to mislead you," Ethan added quickly. I didn't want to overshadow the experience. I wanted to connect with this place and with you as authentically as possible." Maya nodded slowly, still absorbing the revelation. "So, what does this mean? For us?" Ethan leaned forward, his gaze intense. "It means I want you to collaborate with me. Your eye for detail, your understanding of this city, your passion for preserving culture. It's exactly what I need. For this project, you'd oversee the creative direction, ensuring we stay true to the spirit of Rajasthan, and your photography could play a huge role in showcasing the beauty of this region to the world." For a moment, Maya couldn't speak. The offer was overwhelming, not just because of its magnitude, but because it represented a chance to turn her dreams into reality. To work alongside someone like Ethan, whose vision aligned so perfectly with hers, seemed almost too good to be true. But fear crept in as well. Could she really step into such a prominent role? Would she be able to handle the pressure and responsibility? And what about their growing connection? If she accepted, would it blur the lines between professional collaboration and personal feelings? Ethan must have sensed her hesitation. "Take your time to think about it," he said gently. "This isn't a decision you have to make tonight. But know this. I believe in you, Maya. More than you realize." His words resonated deeply within her. Over the past week, Ethan had shown her a side of herself she hadn't fully acknowledged, one filled with potential, resilience, and untapped talent. Now he was offering her the opportunity to embrace that version of herself fully. As they walked back to their car after dinner, the night air cool against their skin, Maya mulled over Ethan's proposal. She thought about the struggles she'd faced as a photographer, the rejections, the financial instability, the constant self-doubt. Yet despite all that, she had never stopped believing in the power of her lens to tell stories. Perhaps this was her chance to amplify those stories, to share them with a global audience and make a lasting impact. "What are you thinking?" Ethan asked softly, breaking the silence. Maya smiled faintly. "I'm thinking, maybe it's time to stop doubting myself." Ethan's face lit up with a hopeful grin. "Does that mean you're considering it?" "I'll need time to decide," she replied honestly. "But yes, I'm considering it." Relief washed over Ethan's features. "That's all I ask, for now." Later that night, as Maya lay awake in bed, her mind raced with possibilities. Working with Ethan would be a leap of faith, one that could change her life forever. But perhaps that was the point. Maybe the greatest adventures weren't the ones planned carefully in advance, but the ones that unfolded unexpectedly, guided by trust, courage, and a shared vision. Little did Maya know her decision would not only shape her future, but also deepen the bond she shared with Ethan in ways neither of them could foresee. Weeks passed after that unforgettable evening at Rambagh Palace. Maya spent countless hours weighing Ethan's offer, torn between excitement and uncertainty. On one hand, the opportunity was monumental, a chance to step into a role she'd never imagined for herself, working alongside someone as visionary and inspiring as Ethan. On the other hand, fear whispered doubts in her ear. What if I fail? What if I can't live up to his expectations? To clear her mind, Maya returned to her favorite spot, Nahargarh Fort. Sitting on the edge of the terrace, overlooking the city bathed in twilight hues, she replayed their conversations over and over. She remembered how Ethan had spoken about her work, not just as photography but as storytelling, as art that could bridge cultures and preserve traditions. His faith in her abilities had ignited something deep within her, a quiet confidence she hadn't felt in years. That night, Maya called Priya. Her best friend listened patiently as Maya poured out her thoughts, the exhilaration, the doubts, the longing to take a leap of faith. When she finished, Priya's response was simple yet profound. Maya, she said firmly, you've always been afraid to dream big because you think you're not good enough, but look at everything you've already done. You've built your life around capturing beauty and meaning in places most people overlook. If anyone deserves this chance, it's you. Her words struck a chord. For so long, Maya had let fear dictate her choices, holding herself back from opportunities that seemed too ambitious or out of reach. But now, with Ethan's offer on the table, she realized she had nothing to lose and everything to gain. The next morning, Maya sent Ethan a message. Let's meet at our usual cafe. He arrived promptly, looking both nervous and hopeful. As they settled into their seats, Maya took a deep breath and looked him straight in the eye. I've thought about it, she began, her voice steady despite the butterflies fluttering in her stomach. And I want to say yes. I want to collaborate with you. Ethan's face broke into a wide grin, relief evident in every line of his expression. Are you sure? He asked, leaning forward slightly. Because once we start, there's no turning back. I'm sure, Maya replied with a smile. This is my chance to do something meaningful, to tell stories that matter, to honor my culture, and to push myself beyond what I thought was possible. Ethan nodded, his eyes shining with admiration. You won't regret this, Maya. I promise. Over the following months, Maya threw herself into the project with unwavering dedication. Together, Ethan and she traveled across Rajasthan, visiting remote villages, meeting artisans, and immersing themselves in local traditions. Maya documented every moment through her lens, capturing the essence of Rajasthani craftsmanship, from intricate block printing and embroidery to vibrant pottery and jewelry making. Each photograph told a story, preserving the soul of the region while inspiring designs for the resort. Ethan marveled at Maya's ability to connect with people, whether it was coaxing shy artisans to share their techniques or persuading skeptical elders to trust their vision. Maya's warmth and authenticity opened doors that might otherwise have remained closed. In turn, Ethan introduced her to the world of sustainable architecture, explaining how eco-friendly materials and innovative design could create spaces that respected both nature and culture. Their partnership blossomed into something extraordinary. Day by day, the resort began to take shape, a harmonious blend of luxury and tradition, where guests could experience the true spirit of Rajasthan without compromising comfort. Maya's photographs became central to the project, adorning the walls of the resort and serving as the foundation for its marketing campaign. Her work gained international attention, earning accolades from travel magazines and cultural organizations alike. But amidst the whirlwind of creativity and collaboration, something else was growing between them. Late-night brainstorming sessions turned into heartfelt conversations under starlit skies. Shared laughter over chai morphed into lingering glances and unspoken understanding. Maya found herself drawn to Ethan not just as a partner in business, but as a kindred spirit who saw her for who she truly was, One evening, as they stood together on the terrace of the nearly completed resort, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Ethan turned to Maya with an earnest expression. "You know," he said softly, "this project wouldn't exist without you. Your vision, your passion. It's the heart of everything we've created here." Maya shook her head, smiling modestly. "It's your vision too, Ethan. Without your ideas and resources, none of this would have been possible." He reached for her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "Maybe, but it's more than that. You've shown me what really matters. Not just building beautiful spaces, but creating something that uplifts communities and preserves heritage. And along the way, you've changed me. For the better." Maya felt her heart swell with emotion. "You've changed me too," she admitted quietly. "Before I met you, I doubted whether my dreams were worth pursuing. But now I believe in myself in a way I never did before." Ethan smiled, his gaze tender and unwavering. "Then let me ask you something. Will you continue this journey with me, not just professionally, but personally?" For a moment, time seemed to stand still. The wind rustled through the nearby trees, carrying with it the faint scent of desert flowers. Maya looked into Ethan's eyes, seeing not just the man who had offered her a life-changing opportunity, but also the person who had believed in her when she couldn't believe in herself. "Yes," she whispered, her voice steady despite the tears welling in her eyes. "I will." Months later, the resort officially opened its doors to guests from around the world. Nestled against the backdrop of the Aravalli Hills, it was a masterpiece, a seamless fusion of modern elegance and traditional charm. Every corner reflected Maya's artistic sensibilities, from the hand-painted murals inspired by local folklore to the curated galleries showcasing artisanal crafts. Guests raved about the immersive experiences, from cooking classes led by village chefs to guided tours highlighting Rajasthan's hidden treasures. Standing on the rooftop terrace during the grand opening ceremony, Maya watched as fireworks lit up the night sky. Beside her, Ethan slipped his arm around her shoulders, pulling her close. "We did it," he murmured, his voice filled with pride. "No," Maya corrected gently, leaning into him. "We're just getting started." In that moment, Maya realized she wasn't just celebrating the completion of a project. She was embracing a new chapter of her life, one rooted in purpose, passion, and love. With Ethan by her side, she knew anything was possible. As the crowd cheered below, Maya raised her glass in a silent toast to dreams realized, to connections forged, and to the boundless possibilities of tomorrow. The success of the resort was beyond anything Maya could have imagined. What started as a simple collaboration between her and Ethan had grown into a global phenomenon. Travel magazines hailed it as a masterpiece of cultural preservation and luxury, while social media buzzed with glowing reviews from guests who described their stays as transformative experiences. For Maya, the accolades were gratifying, but what truly mattered was the impact the project had on the local community. Artisans whose work had once gone unnoticed now found themselves celebrated. The resort's gallery became a hub for showcasing traditional crafts, and many artisans received commissions from visitors eager to take home a piece of Rajasthan's heritage. Young apprentices began learning age-old techniques, ensuring that these skills would survive for generations to come. Maya often visited the villages where they sourced materials, witnessing firsthand how the influx of interest had revitalized entire communities. Ethan, too, felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Building sustainable resorts had always been his passion, but this project was different. It wasn't just about creating beautiful spaces. It was about honoring culture and empowering people. He credited much of its success to Maya, whose vision and authenticity breathed life into every detail. "You've given this place a soul," Ethan told her one evening as they strolled through the resort's gardens. Fireflies danced in the air, casting a soft glow over the lush greenery. "And you gave me wings," Maya replied with a smile. "I never thought I'd be able to do something like this." Their relationship had deepened. Alongside the project, they balanced each other perfectly. Maya's creativity complemented Ethan's strategic mind, while his calm demeanor steadied her occasional bursts of self-doubt. Together, they formed a partnership that went far beyond business or romance. It was a shared mission to create something meaningful. Despite the demands of running the resort, Maya made time to pursue her photography. Her images, once confined to small galleries and online portfolios, now graced international exhibitions. A solo show titled Threads of Tradition premiered in New York, featuring portraits of artisans at work and candid shots of village life. Critics praised her ability to capture humanity in its purest form, calling her work a love letter to Rajasthan. On opening night, Maya stood nervously at the entrance of the gallery, clutching a glass of sparkling water. She scanned the crowd, searching for familiar faces among the sea of strangers. Then she spotted him, Ethan, standing near the back wearing a suit that fit him impeccably. Their eyes met, and he smiled, raising his glass in a silent toast. As the evening unfolded, Maya found herself surrounded by admirers, eager to hear her story. She spoke passionately about her journey, from wandering Jaipur's streets with her camera to collaborating on a project that changed her life. When someone asked how she managed to stay inspired, she glanced toward Ethan and said simply, "Sometimes all it takes is finding the right person to believe in you." Later, when the crowd thinned, Ethan joined her by one of her favorite photographs. An elderly weaver seated at his loom, his hands deftly shaping threads into intricate patterns. The caption read, "Craftsmanship is memory woven into fabric." "It's stunning," Ethan said, studying the image. "But I think my favorite part is the way his eyes tell a story even without words." "That's why I love photography," Maya replied. "It lets us see the world through someone else's eyes, for a moment anyway." Ethan turned to her, his expression thoughtful. "You know, I used to think success meant building bigger and better things. But seeing how your photos connect people, it makes me realize there are so many ways to leave a mark." Maya nodded. "Maybe success isn't about what we achieve. It's about how we make others feel." Back in Jaipur, life settled into a rhythm of productivity and joy. Maya split her time between managing the resort's creative initiatives and working on new photography projects while Ethan handled the business side of things. Despite their busy schedules, they carved out moments for themselves: quiet mornings sipping chai at Hawa Mahal, long drives through the countryside, and late-night conversations under the stars. One day during one of their drives, Ethan pulled over at a secluded spot overlooking Mayota Lake. The sun hung low in the sky, painting the water in shades of gold and crimson. He stepped out of the car, motioning for Maya to follow. "What's going on?" she asked, curious. Ethan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached into his pocket and retrieved a small velvet box. Opening it, he revealed a delicate ring, adorned with a single emerald, a nod to Rajasthan's rich gemstone heritage. "Maya," he began, his voice steady despite the nervousness in his eyes, "you've shown me what it means to live with purpose, to chase dreams bigger than myself. You've taught me to see beauty in simplicity and strength in vulnerability. And most importantly, you've made me happier than I ever thought possible." He paused, taking a deep breath. "Will you spend the rest of your life showing me more of the world and yourself?" Tears welled in Maya's eyes as she looked at him, her heart swelling with emotion. "Yes," she whispered, her voice trembling with happiness. "1,000 times yes." Their wedding took place 6 months later, blending modern elegance with traditional Rajasthani customs. Held in the resort's courtyard, the ceremony was a vibrant celebration of color, music, and culture. Artisans crafted intricate henna designs for Maya's hands, while musicians played soulful melodies on traditional instruments. Friends, family, and colleagues from around the world gathered to witness the union of two people who had found not just love, but a shared purpose. During the reception, Maya delivered a heartfelt speech. "When I agreed to be a tour guide for a stranger, I never imagined it would lead me here, to this incredible journey, to this amazing man, and to a life filled with meaning and joy. To everyone who believed in me along the way, thank you. And to Ethan, my partner in every sense of the word, I can't wait to see where our next adventure takes us. As fireworks lit up the night sky, Maya and Ethan danced beneath a canopy of stars, surrounded by the people and traditions they cherished most. In that moment, Maya knew she had found exactly what she'd been searching for all along, a life built on passion, connection, and endless possibility. And though their story had reached a new chapter, Maya understood that the best adventures were still ahead, waiting to unfold, one breathtaking moment at a time.